Carl Rodriguez's. GM extraordinaire, the GMologist. Carl Rodriguez is the GMologist.
Modified intro here. I'm publishing this a couple days before, the day before we're planning to run our next Twilight 2000 episode. So this is appropriate to get this out maybe today. I know it's a double episode because I just released the ChupacabraCon episode. I guess that's okay. Whatever. So so here in this episode, we're going to have a couple corrections by Amy and a call-in by Jason Connerly, and then a whole bunch of new products that I'm excited to get in the mail, and I talk about them and what the future might lie in running. So not the most exciting of episodes, but it was kind of fun, I think, to unbox and unbag. I have some more boxes that have come to me since I've been away during the weekend, but I'll save those for another time. And I'll save comments. I have a few comments on the Hyperborea episode, but I'll put those in a different episode. This one's gone kind of long, so thanks for listening ahead of time here, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.
And Team 2 was also 6 Nazarenes. Team 3 also consisted of 10 Warta.
So those first very brief calls are from my wife Amy, reminding me that yes, there are more people within Team 2 and Team 3. I'm looking at her notebook where she put that. Yeah, and I guess they're in there. I just failed to read them, and I think we had to check with the leader groups. A couple players are leading Team 2 and Team 3, and the Nazarene is that group of quote-unquote carpenters who work for the USDIA, and they help with the rail station cache. And now, since they did really well, the player thought that they wouldn't be amenable to going since they had some casualties, but no one died actually. There was plenty of medical attention done on them, so they were fine. And when he rolled to persuade them to go, after discussing it with them, well, they decided to go. So they sent a small squad who are riding in the APC. And then Team 3, he brought 10 Warta, so there's 5 of the 15 Warta that have helped out, or there's 15 that helped out in the rail station. They also seconded 5 Warta for Amy's team's Kasha, and for Team 3, Jonesy's team, he had 10 Warta. So we'll see. It's pretty good odds if they can get the jump on him. He also has in Team 3 4 other people who can fire weapons. Oh, and the sniper. So Jonesy should be pretty good. Team 2 with Ronson, Chernov, Diaz, some other combatants, 3 other combatants, and then the 5 Nazarene should be good as well. Right, so we'll see what happens in 2 weeks, or, a week and a half by the time you listen to this.
Hey, Carl, enjoyed your latest episode. Sorry I'm kind of flighty on the Wednesday night games these days due to my work schedule. It's a shame because that original game, the Pathfinder 2 game, is a lot of fun. I'd love to get that finished, but having an alternate game is definitely a smart idea. And when you get to a stopping point in Hyperborea, or you have, something else wants to be run as a one-shot, there's no harm in that. So I think the key is for the people who do show up on Wednesday to do something and not cancel the game like we did in years past if a player or two doesn't show up. So kudos to you for keeping that night a gaming night regardless who shows up. I think that's very admirable and the right thing to do. So Very cool.
That was Jason Connerly, anchorite extraordinaire. And yeah, I think that's the goal is not to cancel the game if one or two people aren't available. Let's just play something. You can play with two people. You just got to find the right game and right system that is sort of scalable down to two people. Pathfinder, if it weren't a published adventure, I could probably scale it down. Pathfinder 2, that is. I would be more comfortable scaling down Pathfinder 1, even in a published adventure. But Pathfinder 2, I'm just not as familiar with. So if people aren't there, then yeah, I mean, you could. The only thing you couldn't scale is if, like, what if they're up against like a boss fight? The boss fights in Pathfinder 1, 2, uh, they kind of build it for like four people, four PCs. So, and I think Pathfinder 2 even does a bigger job of balancing, but I guess one could scale it as I become more and more familiar. And if we have one or two people down, we can continue with the dungeon exploration. It could be more dangerous. It couldn't be. I just got to figure out how to scale it, which is okay. So, but you're right, Jason. We should play something and we have options, which I think is the best thing. All right, I've gotten quite a few boxes in, and originally I was going to do like an unboxing of something that I received, but it just didn't sound good. This one, hopefully to augment, but I participated in the a recent Kickstarter for Cult Divinity Lost, and I've been interested in this game for a while. It was even more heightened when I was able to play in a game run by Kevin Madison called Those Left Behind. You can watch a few episodes on YouTube. I'm in there playing a character named Joey, and I don't play in all of them, but that's a really good story. And he's put it down for a little bit, which is understandable. It's a game that deals with mature themes, including psychological and body horror, explicit examples of physical and mental abuse, violence, etc. So it's definitely an adult game, and it uses sort of a modified, powered by the Apocalypse engine. I've really liked it. It's 2d10, and then your abilities that your character traits or whatever that you would use. I thought it works really well, and Cult Divinity Lost is really, we live in a world where the sun has set. Things are not as they seem. There's a veil between our eyes masking the truth. Our divinity is lost. Death is only the beginning. So it really, what is it? What is it about? And it's cool. And I joined the Kickstarter, and I have received the product. So it was a pretty good Kickstarter, I think. It's like, so let's see, what do we got? So I guess the Kickstarter was mainly for some adventures, but with it and all, with all the stretch goals, etc., you get the Game Master's Guide, maps and floor plans, which is labyrinth and secret chambers. So there's a big thing of maps and floor plans, and then two scenario books, one called The Forbidden and one called Screams and Whispers. So I opened the box. Oh, and I also did an add-on with the Cult rule book because I don't have it. I have it in PDF, but they came in this little like Bible-sized edition. So it kind of looks has the gold the gold edging like you would see on some Bibles if you would go to a hotel and find Gideon's Bible or something else there. But yeah, all the rules are there in like a pocket-sized Bible. And something that's interesting, I mean, I got all the PDFs because I did the Kickstarter, but if you were to order these and buy these from Modiphius, you would definitely get the PDF, and they have like, or even buy them at your FLGS. Sorry, I would buy mine at Dragon's Lair, but if you bought it at your gaming store, then they have the PDF included with the physical product. So I don't know, you'd probably have to, I don't think you would necessarily find these on the shelf at your gaming store unless you had them special order through Modiphius. But let's look at this. I'll open the Game Master's Guide. So they're all shrink wrapped. Well, makes sense. It's a mature game. The Bible one was not shrink wrapped, but this one is, and they are all hardback books. Except for the map pack, which is pretty cool. So what is the Game Master's Guide? What does it have in it? Beyond Darkness and Madness, it is called the Game Master's Guide, and it has theater. It has the introduction, theater of the fearful mind. Collaborative storytelling is one of the subsections. Foundations of dread. It has like an intrigue map that you could use. Flesh and soul. So all the pantheon of mortals and flesh and soul. I guess personality types, relationships. The legions of darkness. So that was probably like a kind of adversaries that you might encounter. Pillars of the false heaven. So environmental storytelling and then location archetypes. So what does it mean to be in the shadow of a city? I think that's pretty good. Scars and apparitions. So what are the desires of the dead? Artifacts, it seems like. Fears made flesh. So again, probably more creatures. Fears unknown, 6th chapter. It's like looks like it goes into like mental health and mental issues that would crop up in the game. Disturbing behavior seems like the same thing, like what happens, to express these mental traumas or what could happen. Sorry, and then new flesh, ancient desires, and exquisite horrors, and then prisoners of the self. So, there's more. Gods and monsters, darkness and decay, illusions and sorrows, blood and guts, we unlucky few, and then the afternoon horrors. So I wonder if these are book 3 is reflections in this. So book 1 is storytelling, book 2 is atmosphere, book 3 is reflections. Let me look at, and that's how I guess the chapters are. That's another division in here. Let me see if I can find it. And these books are pretty 200 plus pages. This one clocks in at like 270, 290 pages, and I wanted to look to see if this section is adventures or what it could be. Well laid out, a 2-column, definitely smaller font writing, so these books are quite dense. So what are the reflections? What are these? I think these are different, kind of sort of plot hook, sort of campaign overviews. So these are the sort of campaign overviews and what the characters are fighting against to set up your cult game. So it looks like a very handy way to set up your game. I think the appendix actually has like the Cult Tarot. It has like tarot and how to build your using the tarot as a game master and how to have the tarot kind of dictate the story for you. Pretty evocative. I know I got cards of some sort. I don't know if they're there or whatever, but let me open the map pack next. I know, again, this is like maybe a game that a lot of you people might not be interested in, but hey, I'm interested in talking about it. I definitely need to read it through and get into it. I've done it. I played it as a player, not as a not run it yet. And a lot of times I do play games so I can later run them. So wow, the map pack is pretty nice and intense. And this is they have a book here, Labyrinths and Secret Chambers. They have a book with it. They have all the locations and this is like the description of all the locations and what you can do with them. That's pretty handy, actually. And then they have the soul of the location, how to use, what to put into these locations to make them more evocative and interesting. Location lists, like where you could put them. If you're creating different locations, so it's pretty cool, and it has a set of maps actually, which like lots of floor plans that are very nicely detailed. Lots of maps. I saw a ship map as I was flipping through here. That's a crazy looking like underground sarcophagus. Not sarcophagus. What are they called? Crypt map with many crypts. It's pretty cool, actually. These are very nice maps that you could drop into your game, and there's a lot of them, so that's pretty cool. I probably need to get I came in shrink wrap, but I probably could need to get like a folder to put all these maps in so you don't get damaged. And let's take a look at the adventure books as I shrink wrap these. Yeah, this might be its own little episode, so one could look at it or skip it. I might have a whole unboxing episode. It looks like I have 3 more things to unbox, some quicker than others, it would seem. I have 2 other folio or folder type, envelope type packages, and another package, like a box. So this is called The Forbidden, and it looks like it is, see, 1, 2, 3 different sub-chapters, or maybe they are, so yeah, it has 3 chapters and an appendix, and it looks like the first chapter might be an overview of what's going on, and the other ones get into the scenario itself, it seems. Although maybe not. Maybe they all. They have nice. They have characters in them. And one thing, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so I think it's 3 scenarios. I've seen 3 different scenarios that are all independent of each other. And at the end it says Gallery of the Forbidden. So there's like, crazy handouts that are not safe for work. Wow. So they seem to definitely very adult to run these. I don't know. It might be even good like as a one-on-one. Like maybe Amy she likes season 2 investigation and sort of the horror thing. As long as you're not hit too hard with adversity, and it makes it fair, like you feel like you have a chance, but your mileage may vary with that. Some of these horror games, it's like you are screwed from the beginning. So the last one is another adventure book, and actually it's interesting. The Forbidden says scenario collection and art book. So yeah, that gallery, which is quite disturbing, but the art, the art looks good. It's just very disturbing type of art, and it looks like this book, Screams and Whispers, again is a scenario book, and it seems to have 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 scenarios. Wow, 9 scenarios. It seems of varying lengths. Some smaller than others. I'm sure multiple levels of disturbance. So pretty cool. So it's a lot of collection, and I guess I totally had forgotten that I had ordered this. I'd seen it. I got in the PDFs maybe last year, and I was like, I wonder when this is coming, but it finally came. So there you go. Kickstarter fulfilled for Cult Divinity Lost. All right, the next thing I'm going to unbox, reveal, whatever, is from Paizo. I am a subscriber to the Paizo Adventure Pass for Pathfinder 2. I started way back when they were doing Adventure Pass for pre-Pathfinder, so that would be 3.5. So I collected Rise of the Rune from Rise of the Rune Lords on up, and this one is pretty cool. It might have an old westy type of feel. It is the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path, the latest adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's called Punks in a Powder Keg. Light the fuse, it says. Ragtag outlaws get their hands dirty in the oil-slicked alleyways and whiskey-soaked saloons of Alkenstar, the city of smog. So it seems it's going to do coal punk, steampunk type stuff. To enact revenge on the mogul who ruined them, these renegades must steal from the rich, take down crooked shield marshals, and aid a mysterious gunslinging patron. In the city where the clockwork guards are literally as tough as brass, anti-heroes will need true grit to dole out overdue justice. Wow, so it is definitely, they are diving into the Old West type of feel. Pretty interesting, pretty crazy. Is that? Wow, okay. Wow. So there's even a map in here. I'm looking at the folds. There's a map of a place called Hellside, and it's it's a cut through map. So like it has like instead of top down, it's like side view. Side view, that's the right word. And this town is like has undergrounds, like deep underground. So the compass on it has up, down, north, and south, which is pretty cool. So this looks wow, hella interesting to me. It probably is gonna focus heavily, or probably I'm sure when I look at the player's guide, it's gonna suggest using the Clockworks and Gears book that's come out. I think that's what it's called. So it's a recent book that's come out. So it looks really interesting. So there's 3 chapters: reach for the sky, run and gun, and turn the screws. So for the punks in the powder keg. But it also has some other fun stuff in the Adventure Toolbox. They also have that. Oh, and they have the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. So this is definitely like Old West style. Man, I've already started Abomination Vault. I do not need another. And then the other one looked really good too. So yeah, I guess it's gonna hit your steampunk vibe. The Barrel and Bullet Saloon has a history of the saloon, services and fees. This is probably gonna be like must be the headquarters, a map. All the locations, etc. They love to have like tieflings as NPCs, I would say, in this game. So Adventure Toolbox has all the powder keg paraphernalia, some more stuff for Clockwork. Alkenstar Agent, they have black powder feats that you can take. I guess they're gonna really want people to become gunslingers or the artificer thing that they've introduced. It's not called an artificer, alchemists and the like, but all the things that they have Alkenstar services, Alkenstar Clockworks. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Clockwork Brewer is one of the monsters. It makes beer and ale. It walks around and makes beer and ale, and probably serves you. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's definitely they're getting into that, like getting into that sort of Western feel, hitting those touchstones that I would say Savage Worlds does. Guns and Gears is the name of the product. They also come up with Book of the Dead, which never mind. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, Book of the Dead. It is not in one of my packages because I bought it separately at Dragon's Lair here in San Antonio, and that looks really good too. Just as an aside, Book of Lairs, or Book of the Dead. Sorry, Book of the Dead. You can play undead, right? The classes are, lich, vampire, mummy, ghoul, skeleton, zombie, I believe. There might be a one or two more, but yeah, that's very interesting. So that's Punks in a Powder Keg, the first book in the new Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path. My next envelope, the envelope please. Amy's not here to hand me the envelope. That would be kind of cool. But it is from Art of the Genre in San Marcos, California, not San Marcos, Texas. That'd be cray if they were like nearby, because San Marcos, Texas is less than an hour away. But anyway, so from California, Art of the Genre. I like I really like their adventures, their Black Folio stuff. It's pretty neat. Oh, this is another Black Label from the Folio. The Legend of Imani and Dayu. So they are definitely have very evocative art, adult content. The art's done really well. And what I think is cool, especially as I kind of delve further into AD&D, you might have heard on the last couple podcasts, well, at least AD&D 1.5. So OA Unearthed Arcana, I guess it's a 1984 stuff that came out, and anything after that, so Wilderness and Dungeon Survival Guides as well, which has the proficiencies and specialization. I guess those are the big changes, as well as new classes, etc. But anyway, these are made for 1E and 5E, so they're always shrink wrapped, which is interesting. And they also have either Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I think the author is now he's proposed his own system recently on the Kickstarter, and this Scott Taylor is the author of this, and he has on Kickstarter a Kickstarter for his own game called Fast, the role-playing game. So yeah, so it's again, it's kind of neat. He always kind of develops these as sort of this bifold. So the map is on the inside cover, and he has usually like a 3D map as well as a flat map. So it's kind of cool. And again, it's low level adventures for AD&D and 5th edition. So this one in particular for 3 to 5 to character levels 3 to 5. It has a it's actually interesting. So the inside has a glossy cover, which is different from other ones. I guess all these Kickstarters are paying off, and he's improving the art. But they're sort of the large print that you're used to seeing in a 5e book. These adventures are about 32 or so pages, sort of the old number of pages in the old books, but definitely not as dense. But they usually have like one dungeon, very pretty good and evocative or art from the adventure action scenes within the adventure in the black and white, and they usually have like a color centerfold that are sometimes adult content. This one's not so bad. This one's not so it's a really cool picture of 2 of the NPCs from the game. So it's pretty cool. So this looks really good. Again, like it's a single dungeon romp. And the dungeon's not that big, so these could be played like as a mini campaign, maybe several sessions. So I kind of liked it. And actually, it's really neat to show. I mean, I guess this works in combo. What I've liked a lot what Scott Taylor has done is the combination 3D map and flat map work really well, and I definitely enjoy that from this product. So that's the art of the genre. You can look for them, check them out. I guess he's tried to develop like something called the Nameless Realms, is the world in which all these take place. He has a lot of other products, and I think they're really neat, really good for an AD&D campaign where you're not playing the classics that all your buddies have played. It's got some really neat adventures that you could develop the world around. So that's the art of the genre, the latest in the Black Label Folio collection, The Legend of Imani and Dayu. And yes, there is another box that I've received. It is it's about 11 by 17, about 4 inches deep, from New Comet Games. So it's probably another Kickstarter fulfillment. I will use. It's a kind of. I like the way the box is done. It's not a tear up box, but it's like a flip box, so I don't have to cut the tape with anvil. The anvil is very happy they are being used. Inside, wow. Well, Peanuts, I'm going to have to talk to. I may see the author at. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, there's like a prop that comes up here. And then the back, or the actual products. He's got like those circus peanuts in here, which you gotta throw those away. Don't let your animals eat them. But it's this is a Call of Cthulhu, Corsairs of Cthulhu. And inside are 2 books and a prop. And the 2 books are the Map Folio and the main book. This is by Ben Burns from his New Comet Games company. He's done some really good and outstanding work with the Call of Cthulhu, a couple products that are out there if you look up New Comet Games. This is his latest. He hasn't done a Kickstarter before, if I recall, but I guess for this one, because what I like is, well, this Kickstarter, he was very apologetic, but this Kickstarter compared to others has been relatively quick in fulfillment. So I'm pretty excited about it because it's, pirates and Cthulhu, right? Who else wants fighting mysteries in the golden age of piracy for Call of Cthulhu? So a lot of people have talked about it and thought about doing it. And maybe this is a game that, well, Jason, who doesn't want to play in 7th Sea but has always wanted to play a pirate game, this could be of interest to Jason Connerly. So, so it is a 2-column layout. There's both black and white and color art. So let's look at the chapters. There's an introduction and forward. So he's really wanted to run a rule set and supplement for Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, the 7th edition, focusing on the period between 1650 and 1730. So definitely, going as far back as so that encompasses the entirety of the golden age of piracy, and you could play, in the buccaneering period, in the 17th century, the Jamaica and Tortuga attacking Spanish colonies. Then you get into the pirate round, where you have distant voyages associated, with from the Americas robbing Muslim and East India Company, etc. And then anyway, and then of course the post-Spanish succession period, which is what we see a lot in the early 18th century, 1715 to 1726, after Queen Anne's War, and all these Anglo-American sailors and privateers left unemployed at the end of the War of Spanish Succession, and then all this massive piracy. So you could play, it seems like, in any time period within that era, with that. And then they have like the Golden Age of Piracy, the Caribbean, character creation, alchemy and voodoo, the ship's crew, a pirate's life for me, ships and armaments, and then they have part 2. So it's set up into part 1 and part 2, so a player's side and a GM's or a keeper's side. And then part 2 is called the Astronomer's Map, and that's going to be the adventure that you get. Ooh, yes, pretty cool. Very, yeah. The adventure, of course. I mean, I've played in Ben Burns' adventures, and I haven't run them yet. I played in some. I think I might be. I hope he's not planning on running this. I have actually been able to sign up and play in one of his games, Ben Burns, one of his games at North Texas RPG Con. So that should be pretty fun, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. The maps are really nice. He does a very simple map design that are very clear, well done cartography. And lots and lots of puzzles and symbols that you all so loved so much, of course, here. So yeah. So pretty cool. I'm excited about this. Excited to try to run it. Oh, that's nuts. That's crazy pieces. There's also, like I said, there's like this puzzle or an actual handout. Wow, I need to pull it out. They actually said to pull it out and make sure all the pieces are there. So let me do that, and I will let you know. And yes, all the pieces are there. This is pretty cool. I don't want to spoil it, but it is a cool looking prop that they put together, including has like everything you'd want, including a map gem to guide you. Pretty cool. So yeah, and they have a guide of how it works in the game. So I'm pretty excited about this. I wonder. I mean, a VTT. I don't know. I mean, this is unfortunately. Well, I mean, I could put this together, take pictures, and make like handouts, right? It's not a big deal, but pretty neat. So I'm excited about this. Hopefully I do not lose the pieces in between now and then. Maybe I need a little box for the pieces. The other thing that comes along with the Call of Cthulhu, Corsairs of Cthulhu, is a map folio, and it has all the maps and handouts. It's maps and handouts of all the ships. Actually one of the better maps of a ship that I've seen. Maps that are clear and well done, nothing too crazy and fancy that you can't read anything. I've always hated that. But they did do some kind of neat things with the maps, I would say, that there's like some watermarks, etc., that make them look period, but does not get in the way. So really great production value, Ben, for this. I don't think Ben Burns listens to my podcast, but I will tell him the production value is fantastic and amazing. Maybe I'll jump on one of the Discords and I know he's on and say that, but it looks really, really great. So yeah, I think. Oh wait, these handouts are double-sided. So I thought I only had this many, but now I have double the amount that I thought, which is extremely cool. There's a couple maps that aren't double-sided that maybe that threw me off, or handouts, but the maps themselves have double-sided, Yep, another great map of a 17th to 18th century schooner. Man, I'll probably take pictures of these and use them in like one of the games that has boats. I do have the PDF. So yes, now I finally have a good picture to put on a map on the Roll20 for a boat or two. So I'm always looking for those, and some are not. Some are okay. They like the artist. Sometimes I would say takes. These are good, simple maps that tell you what's there, but don't. Sometimes the artists add like strange things on boats that probably are not necessarily there. Um, anyway, that's my own opinion, of course. But yeah, so that makes the boat map only usable in specific things, and you have to go, oh, that's not really there to the players, and it could break verisimilitude for some. Anyway, that's my little rant, but this is pretty cool. Corsairs of Cthulhu probably coming to a recap of some sort near you. If I can ever convince my players to do actual play, but as actually Jason did state something pretty interesting about actual play is sometimes actual play, right? The player characters have a tendency to overact and not do what they would normally do in a game because the audience is listening or watching, right? So that's a consideration. I think the prop is pretty cool. I can't wait to use it. That is Call of Cthulhu, Corsairs of Cthulhu, Fighting Mythos in the Golden Age of Piracy by New Comet Games, authored by Ben Burns, and completely licensed by Chaosium. Well, I did something maybe not foolish. I guess I'm a collector, but I went to Dragon's Lair here in San Antonio. It's located near the medical center. It's the gaming store that I go to. And I bought a bunch of stuff. So I think I will share with you what I bought and maybe give overview. So I got this book that they put in my box called Keeper's Tips, Collective Wisdom on Running Games for Call of Cthulhu through their 40th anniversary, 1981 to 2001. It is a small, like, I don't know what size this is, but it's like a small book, maybe about hand size. Is that A4? I don't know. Maybe it's A4, but because there's another book that's a little bigger, that's probably A5. Anyway, so it was shrink wrapped. It's like red leatherette. And what does it have inside? A lot of kind of cool essays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 chapters. I wonder if they're all. I think they're by a lot of different people. There's an introduction as well. There's a little introduction by Mike Mason. I gathered wisdom and advice and tips for Keeper for Call of Cthulhu. So aimed at everyone who's a veteran or novice. Diverse range of people have been running the game for a long time. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a nice little book. It's got a little section for notes, which is kind of good. And at the end, it has all the biographies of the different people who contributed. So quite a few people. So it looks really cool. It's cute. I'll have it around and near my desk for reference. And maybe I'll put it by my bed and read through it. The Collected Wisdom, Keeper's Tips. Gotta love it. The next book I have here is a black book with its green, undead-looking Viking. It is, yes, Viking Despot. They put it in my box as well. So it's by Runehammer Games, published through Modiphius as well. Viking Despot, the tabletop RPG based on the Black Sabbath song War Pigs, transports you to a desolate world of the 100th century, where undead Vikings and their human allies fight against foes both cybernetic and demonic. This is a complete rules to create immortal or human characters, world setting, monsters, vehicles, gear, sample adventure, and campaign starters. So this one I guess is A5. Much in the vein of Mork Borg, it is very kind of an art book, but I think it's laid out really well, much like many of the Runehammer does. So it's laid out like ICRPG. So yeah, so pretty cool. Yep, gives you history, heroes. It'd be fun to do. I think it'd be fun to do at least a game and try it out and see what it's like. But hey, it's another thing they put in my box: Viking Death Squad. Yeah, I think not just Jason Connerly, but one of my friends who's played with me for as long as I can remember said, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." So, maybe we'll get that to the table as well. Put that aside, and what else I got? I got 2 Starfinder Adventure Path books. Horizon of the Vast Adventure Path is what we're currently running. We're still in the first book, but and these books have been slow to get out. I think they're published bi-monthly, but this is Horizons of the Vast, Icebound, and Allies Against the Eye. So Icebound is for 4 characters from 7th to 9th level. So this is the third book. No, this says the 4th book. Interesting. So the character should begin this adventure at 7th level, and by the end they will be 9th level. I think we might be ahead of the curve. But that's okay, because the characters already are like 4th level. Are they 3rd level? I think they're 3rd level, and they'll probably hit 4th level by the end of the first book. We're a little faster for whatever reason. Maybe because I give XP for exploration, but that's okay. And then the 4th book is from character levels 9 to 11, or the 5th book is characters 9 to 11. So it expands upon, right? Expands upon different things. I think this actually, yeah, I think it's, I think that, we go off planet yet? No, interesting. So yeah, it takes characters to different parts of the world that they are interesting, and then it expands upon that in Allies Against the Eye. So 2 more adventures for the adventure path that hopefully we will finish one of these days. But as you know, adventure paths are always slow going. So the next book that's coming out of my bag is for Warhammer 40k role-playing Wrath and Glory. It is the Redacted Records book. Explore the space hulks of the Gilead system, huge drifting masses of ships welded together by gravity and the flames of the warp, and home to hazard and opportunity in equal measure. Redacted Records takes your adventures away from the known perils of the Gilead system's planets and out into the depths of the void to face unimaginable danger. So, yeah, we've been talking about getting Wrath and Glory, which is the next rule system for playing in the 40k universe. Instead of putting out 3 or 4 different books for the verse, they put out 1. And let's see, it's got an intro. What is a Space Hulk? Space Hulk generation, events, loot, and then it gives you some Space Hulks in the Forsaken system, and then looking at different frameworks with which to create a group that's going to go up there. Servitors of the Forsaken system, and then a bunch of new talents, some cults of the Forsaken system. So yeah, it's going to looks pretty good. Definitely add more opportunity for adventure into a Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory game. So that is Redacted Records. So Wrath and Glory, or Warhammer 40k, is right now published through Cubicle 7, just FYI. The Starfinder is a Paizo product, if you did not know. So I also got a D&D 5 5th edition product, BJ Board. I think you're a bit my biggest 5th edition fan who listens. Maybe I don't know. Maybe, but I do like collecting the Critical Role stuff. So I have gotten the latest Critical Role book, The Call of the Netherdeep. I do have several of the. I have the. This is the third book, um, and I like just looking at the stuff and reading it, and gives you introduction, answering the call of what is this? So the great mortal has awakened powerful. So it looks like this. Oh, it's a big. I think it's a 7 chapters of thrilling adventures. So it is an adventure path, which is awesome. I think that's a great idea. The other book there had a book took place up in the northern part of Exandria, and I think it was both rules and adventure. But this has like all adventures, which might be pretty fun. So looks like you would do like start at third level, which would make some of my players happy. Although I guess you could play some stuff early to get them into the mood of Exandria. And then, but although it says character creation here, it does talk about a session 0, so it looks like they will be third level. So maybe the characters can get their archetypes, what the characters will know, and then it'll start in Jigow, Jigow, that city, town, looks like and go from there. So things happen. It's like a competition or a race, and then it continues. Oh, it looks pretty cool. It does look good. Something to add to my future potential adventure path, and 5e should be pretty fun. So Call of the Netherdeep. It does look really nice. It does have a big poster map in the back. Handouts. Poster maps. Handouts. Looks concept art for the story. Medals. New monsters, of course. New magic items, which is nice. So, Call of the Netherdeep. And then finally, the last thing I got here in my bag of tricks is the Marvel role-playing game playtest rulebook by Matt Forbeck. I got the Roll20, but it looks like they're marketing this as more as a comic book product. They have variant covers, and I got the Scarlet Witch variant. The irony of which is there is no Scarlet Witch is not in here. So, and there is actually no magic characters. It would have been cool if they would have had a magic using character to play test. But this is very the same as the I guess Kindle version. It has in the back the rules for it, and the Marvel heroes it has is Black Panther and Captain America. And stay tuned in the future. I think Friday it might be coming, but we kind of did like a bonus. We created a bonus episode, myself, Jason Connolly, and BJ Wood, where we created characters and then ran a test combat between Black Panther and Captain America. There's Captain Marvel, who's level 25, ranked 25. Groot, Iron Man. So Iron Man, Groot, Black Panther, and Captain America are rank 15. Then there's Rocket Raccoon, who I also call Rocky Raccoon. Rocky Raccoon, Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, level rank 10. Storm rank 15. Thor rank 20. Wolverine rank 10. And there you go. They also have a bonus inside character somewhere in here in the character creation example. They have Peter Parker rank 10, Spider-Man as well, which maybe there's debate that he should be a little higher because he tends to wipe the floor with some of those heroes that I listed. But so far I've had fun with it. It definitely is a playtest, but it's a working playtest. And Matt Forbeck also has done Six Guns and Sorcery, another game of note, and he's done that for his own system that he created, and for 5e. It was just a Kickstarter for it. And now he's been vetted to do the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game.
multiverse role playing game. It gets to feel like it's going to be based on the MCU. I've been wanting to, or we've been wanting to, as a group, wanting to get to a superhero game together, and maybe we'll use this, or maybe we'll use, Mayfair, DC Mayfair, or the Mutants and Masterminds DC, or Marvel TSR, or hell, let's play in Champions and do our own thing. But we really talked about the group and I, the regulars that you hear of doing a superhero game in a shared universe. Anyway, well, that's what I got from Dragon's Lair. You never know what will arrive in the mail. And yes, today I received 2 more packages. So, yeah, I guess this is like the big unboxing episode. But I did have a bag to open too. So this is an envelope, UPS Media Mail, good sized envelope. And probably like 12 by 20. Yeah, pretty good. No, not 20. It's like 12 by 16 or 17. It says, "Do not bend," from Necromancer. I back things and I forget, much like many people. I am a collector. Sometimes it's a good product, and it seems pretty cool. And yeah, this is Shepherd's Bane by Necromancer Games. I think they did a good job packaging it. There is a cardboard backer. It's by Pete Spawn, by the way. It's a cardboard backer. Easy tear envelope. Cardboard backer to keep things straight so it wouldn't bend. It is a adventure for 5e, and it is about werewolves. Joe Richter, werewolves. A werewolf roams the foggy reaches of Stirling Moor, and the village of Harrock is at its mercy. Tonight is the night of the full moon. Can you protect the people of Harrock from the monster's wrath, or will you too succumb to the teeth and claws of the Shepherd's Bane? Actually, it says it's a freeform adventure centered around the village. I feel like it is kind of a hex crawl. I do like the production value of Necromancer game stuff. Not really a hex crawl, but like an area crawl. There's a map of Stirling Moor, map of the village. You start entering there, exploring the moor, find different things. You find out about the beast. Yeah, it looks pretty concise. So kind of neat. So we'll see how it goes. Shepherd's Bane by Pete Spawn, a short adventure from Necromancer. And yet another package. This one is big, and it looks like it consists of 2 cardboard slats put together. This one indeed is, I would say it's about 12 by 18, the big slats put together. It is an easy rip and tear. It says pull to open. Wheel. Pull to open. I have to tear it twice. Inside is a book, of course. And it feels heavy and dense, but although it is a paperback, it is Ptolus, City of Adventure. So this one, it looks like it is a series of adventure collections for 5e and Cypher for Ptolus, a City of Adventure from Monte Cook Games. Looks like there are 3 adventures that are linked together. Great production value, as always, by Monte Cook Games. Ptolus, City of Adventure, a dangerous chaos cult, a strange magical gift, an ancient manuscript of dire portent. 3, they're standalone, they're not linked together. Scenarios pull you into the City of Adventure. So good ways to put these into the table and make them kind of one-shots, probably. Let's see, the first adventure, The Doctrine of Ghoul, doesn't look too long. Sorry. I think in the appendix, if I'm lines on the map. Trying to think how they get together and they're of different lengths, it seems. The Doctor of Gold is not too long, but the other one is pretty big. But I guess it has both 5e. I want to see how they do that. Does it have both 5e and Cipher? Okay. Interesting. I'm trying to think how they do this, but I'm looking to see per houses. I'm looking for stats. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, I think it's kind of written for 5e, and then the sidebars have little cipher system symbols, and then that's how you substitute the cipher system. Let me see if that's correct. Yep, cipher stats, that's what it says. Tullis Adventure requires a copy of the rulebook. There's two types of sidebars, one with a P that's white background, and that references that rulebook indicated by call out with that symbol, etc. And cipher, then the other one, which is grayish blue and has a cipher system symbol, says cipher stats for the adventure are there in the sidebar, like very adjacent to what's going on. Yeah, this is all, that's pretty good. I wouldn't mind starting a 5. I wanted to try to get away from, your standard, well, I guess WotC backgrounds, or not WotC worlds. Although I'm willing to try Exandria from Critical Role fame. But I've been wanting to try to, if I do 5e, I want to do it somewhere else, like I've run some Iron Kingdoms. Tullis would be really great. Have a big giant book somewhere with Tullis. I can see it. It's pretty. Oh, it's like a slipcase. So yeah, it's pretty big. And there's other adventures that I have. I think Bane Warrens is supposed to be coming. So yeah, pretty cool. Tullis City of Adventure, and this ones are good because you can just kind of do them and see what happens. What is the first adventure for? It says 4 or 5 characters of tier 2, so it's kind of well, that's for cipher system, but what does it say for 5e? I found it suitable for parties of 5th or 6th level or cipher system tier 2 or 3. So that's pretty good. You got to build up, start in Tullis, and go from there. Tullis City of Adventure. All right, that's all for the show, folks. Thank you so much, TJ Drennan, for the music, the intro, outro. Thank you, Amy, for the clip art that you've created and the comments. It definitely helps me to keep me on my toes. Got to remember those details. And Jason, thanks so much for the call-in, as always. Thanks for always calling in, actually. I know we jarred each other. Well, you more at me. I don't know if I were to... Sometimes I feel like if I strike back, it might be mean, so I refrain. But thanks, buddy. It was great to hang out with you when you were down in San Antonio. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to go up there and we'll have another beer and barbecue somewhere, or Mexican food, or whatever is the best food around where you live. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon, all of you guys who are listening. And with that, I say good day. Good day. TJ, take us out.